Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for May 14th of 2025 is titled NGC 1360, the Robin's Egg Nebula. So what do we see here? Well, here we see what is known as the Robin's Egg Nebula for its distinct coloring and pattern, and this is an example of a planetary nebula. A planetary nebula, in this case, about 3 light years across. And what a planetary nebula is the end of the life of a star, much like our own sun. When a star like our sun ends its life, it goes through various stages, and one of those is a giant or supergiant phase. And that's where the star becomes very large. For our sun, it will fill the inner parts of the solar system, and then will eventually become so unstable that the outer layers are not held strong enough by the gravity of the remaining core that they are expelled out into space. And that's often where we get a planetary nebula like this. That central star, the bright object there at the center, is the white dwarf star. And really, that is the core of the star. That's what's left over of the core. The nebula around it is actually the outer layers of the star. So this entire thing is the star that used to be present at the center there. It's just that when it reaches the end of its life, the outer layers will be expelled outward and will continue to expand out into space, as we see here. It's a very short phase of a star's life, lasting only a few tens of thousands of years. And while that may seem like a very long time, when we consider that a star like the Sun could live for 10 billion years on the main sequence, and then continue through its life for another billion or 2 years as it goes through various stages before reaching the planetary nebula phase, this is a very short phase, and we just happen to catch certain stars, such as this one, as they are in the process of forming this nebula. Now, the interesting thing here is because this is not completely symmetrical, the idea is that there's actually a binary star here. So there's actually 2 stars at the center, and those are 2 white dwarf stars that are present there. So there could have been a second earlier planetary nebula that could have been expelled outward, and we could be seeing the secondary planetary nebula after this. The outer layers could have expanded out into space and dissipated. And that's what happens to that material. And that's what will happen to this in another few tens of thousands of years. It will continue to expand out. As I said, it's already reached a distance of about 3 light years. That process will continue, and eventually it'll get so far away from the central star, and that star will, the central white dwarf, and it will cool off to the point where it can no longer energize it. And then that gaseous material just continues to expand out into space, joining other material out in the interstellar medium, and eventually becoming seed material for future generations of stars. So that was our picture of the day for May 14th of 2025. It was titled NGC 1360, the Robin's Egg Nebula. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Pluto below. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.